Stick on this side of the table. Would you like to see it?
I said I didn't get it to later at night. I don't know about what, because I haven't even, we'll see.
When they say you're doing it,
I need to get it back.
been a long morning already.
That looks much better. Thank you.
Can you push it back so the sun is actually shining in their eyes?
Yes, there you go. That's right.
There we go.
How's garden?
We're gonna finish the boxes. We did the soil up Thursday.
How's the soil? What?
I'm not a soil expert, but supposedly it's got some compost and manure and sand mixed in.
Good morning and welcome for this meeting of the Berry County Board of Commissioners is now called to order. Would commissioner, staff, and guests please stand for our invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Heavenly Father, thank you for another gorgeous day in Berry County. Thank you for bringing all of us together to serve the county, its citizens, and most importantly, you. Please grant us the wisdom and the patience to pursue our tasks wisely and be with all who assist us. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. For purposes of attendance, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Doster.
Present.
Carlton.
Present.
Getty.
Here.
Smelker.
Here.
Hatfield.
Here.
Campbell.
Here.
Tunison.
Here.
Jackson.
Here. Reports from state and county officials. Are there any state and county officials that would like to update the board at this time? Hearing none, we will move ahead. Limited public comment. At this time, any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes.
Hello, Gary White, from District 5, Commissioner District. Barb Hurlis on Thursday presented what I thought was a really great proposal. On Friday, I stopped in her office and congratulated her. She implemented some technology back in 2021, got the data input in, and then actually made a presentation if I heard right, to eliminate a part-time position, increase the employee wage in that department, which works for employee retention. I told her at that time that she was the standard that Berry County needs to start going by and living up to. Now, government's inspired me after last week. Many people are discouraged with federal government, state government, and local government. So I got to thinking about it, and I actually wrote a poem. It's called The Government's Pledge to You and Me. We must tax the rich and tax the poor. We must tax the grandma as she drives to the store. We must tax the daughter and tax the son. We must tax the family from their joy and fun. We must tax the kitten and Fido too. We must eliminate their loyalty too. We must tax the rich and tax the old. We must tax the young so they do as they're told. We are the government so big, so bold. Oh yes, we must tax the poor till they have no more. We can now tax the wind and the sunshine too. We are taxing them all, and yes, all just for you. We will tax your home and property too. Yes, tax, 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 that's what we do. We will tax the farm and cattle too. We are the government, that's what we do. We must tax more and more and more and more. we shall just tax and spend until you have no more. That's the end of that. It's tiring to me to always hear we gotta have villages, we gotta raise taxes. So that's the reason that came about. A little bit further down on your agenda, the keywords I pulled off the one that is item H was during this difficult labor market. When you look at that statement there, it's trying to change benefits or encourage due to a lack of talent. I think the governing body of Berry County should really encourage restructure and downsizing, because of this difficult market is not going to go away. So instead of saying, yeah, we want to give more, you know, this is the plan, maybe you should be saying, show us the plan to restructure, to do more for less, because that's the direction this country's going. There's employee, we're getting less employees for more retirees. Government always wants to get bigger instead of smaller. I'll be back later. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional public comment? Hearing none, we'll move ahead with our agenda. Approval of written agenda. At this time, any member of the board may ask for an item to be removed from consent agenda and placed under items for consideration. Hearing no such request, does any commissioner wish to change the agenda additionally? Hearing no such request, the agenda is approved as written. Various correspondence. Does any commissioner have correspondence they wish to share with the board? Okay, consent agenda. Commissioner Tennyson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Approval of April 9th, 2024 Board of Commissioner meeting minutes. B, approval of April 16th, 2024 Committee of the Whole meeting minutes. C, approval of April 18th, 2024 Personnel and Human Services Committee minutes. D, approval to enter into attached Prosecuting Attorney Association of Michigan and Berry County Prosecutor's Office contract for Prosecutor by Karpel Adult Case Tracking and Juvenile Case Tracking Software, and authorize the prosecutor to sign it. E, approval to accept $10,000 from the Berry County Humane Society for the purpose of the trap, neuter, and release program. F, approval of the attached professional service proposal to assist Berry County with a zoning ordinance update to prepare a new zoning ordinance for Berry County. G, approval in accordance with resolution number 02-02, resolution creating a community mental health authority, BCCMHA, section F, building lease, to credit $90,700 to BCCM from the sale of the building located at 2350 Iroquois Trail, with funds to come from the Building Rehabilitation Fund.
Support. Motion by Tunison, supported by Smelker, for all items listed on the consent agenda. Discussion is not allowed and a roll call vote is required. All those in favor vote aye, opposed vote nay. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Doster. Carlton.
Aye.
Getty. Aye. Smelker.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
Campbell. Tunison.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The consent agenda is approved. Presentations. This morning we have Rachel France from the Solid Waste Oversight Committee to deliver an annual report. And Frank Fiala.
I was going to say, Rachel changed.
Good morning. Do you have
Is it right behind you?
It was what was sent to me.
That was something for last week. This one was part of the packet, so. But anyway, so
So the annual report, we report to you every year about what the swap has done.
Don't like that.
Okay.
Do you not have that in the packet? Or do you?
We're trying to pull the packet up.
Okay. Let us just hit a couple highlights if we can from the document. It's pretty self-explanatory once it comes up here. The premier event that we do is a household hazardous waste pickup that we do at the Expo Center. We've been doing that for many years now, and really doing some very nice large volumes of things there. This last year, we picked up about 4,500 tires that we kept from getting in the landfill and on the landscape. We did about 30,000 pounds of electronics. We just started recycling electronics with a grant just in the last couple of years, and that's working out very, very well. 10,000 pounds of motor oil. That's about, at each event, we get about 600 gallons of used motor oil that gets recycled or burned. And batteries, as you're aware, the little household batteries as well as auto batteries, 8,000 pounds of those. And then oil-based paint, we collect about 6,000 pounds of oil-based paint. And automotive waste, mainly antifreeze, fluorescent light bulbs, corrosive acids, medical waste, about 9,000 pounds of medical waste.
900.
I'm sorry, 900 pounds medical waste, and just a number of really significant things that are occurring. We have Drug and Lab pick up most of the product there other than the tires. And their billing has gone from about $25,000 for the two events up to about $55,000 because we have increased volumes and obviously the prices continue to go up. So we're just really, really happy with that event. We do that twice a year. It's coming up May 18th. I'd encourage you commissioners to maybe drop by and see what we're doing and bring anything that you have to recycle. Probably the most important thing that relates to you folks is that we have a dozen members on our committee that are all appointed by you folks, and they are all volunteers for that group. And really, really important to have the attendance at the meetings. We have trouble, they're all very, very busy people, and we have trouble with attendance, that it's kind of a working group since we have Rachel, our coordinator that we've had now for about 3 years, just working out superbly well. But between her and the health department that plays a major role in all the coordination of the household hazardous waste events at the Expo Center over years, just coordinating with that group, and we meet about 12 times a year, just really, really important, the people you appoint, the attendance at those meetings that we work through that. Those are the main things that I wanted to hit. And so we have attendance at the events, just a highlight like we do in our planning commission reports, there's about the importance of the attendance. And then, Rachel, would you talk a little bit about metrics on your report?
All right, I'm trying to be loud, but thankful for the microphone. So in 2023, so this is calendar year, not fiscal, we did award 2 mini grants. I publish a monthly column in the Reminder, so there's a dozen of those. We created a lot of digital and print content, including a new update of the Recycling and Disposal Guide, which is available at municipal offices. Gave 4 presentations and attended 5 events or conferences. And then we were just awarded an $18,000 grant for the Eagle Scrap Tire Collection. It's actually the same amount of trailers as last year, but the price has gone up, so it's a bigger grant. And then, yeah, like Frank said, we are in the 2nd year of the electronics grant, so unless we don't collect enough this year, this will be the last year of that grant, so I really want to encourage everyone to bring TVs. We do ask a $10 suggested donation for TVs and monitors, but that is the only part of the program that the grant is actually funding. So we really want to spend that grant money and get as many TVs out of here, off the side of the road. If you pick one up off the side of the road, I will waive this suggested donation, just so you know.
And the same with tires, we're quite flexible with the tires. Any municipal person that picks up tires along the road or any place, we accept them, even larger quantities, and it's been quite effective. And I would just make a comment that we're nearing the end of this current plan that we're under. The plan was put together during the 90s and last updated late in the 90s, and we're about to do the new plan. We'll then form a new oversight committee with new characteristics there and a whole new plan. So really appreciate all your help in picking some really good folks to really tear into that over the next couple years or so.
Awesome. Questions from commissioners? Commissioner Getty, would you like to lead?
I don't have any questions, but I'm impressed with how much we get done, you know, with the help certainly of Rachel in coordination. But when you list it out here, it really has had an impact in Berry County.
Absolutely. Commissioner Hatfield?
Also nothing but, yeah, my positive comments regarding the work that they're doing, the success of our recycling events. We are making a difference, and I think there are some things that in the works that will make it even more successful.
Thank you. Additional questions from commissioners? Commissioner Campbell?
We're doing the electronics recycle at Delton 2 this year, is that correct? What date is that?
That's going to be June 1st at Delton Kellogg High School, and the Delton Kellogg High School Interact Club is going to be volunteering to help out at that event.
Oh,
So I'm really excited.
Additional questions? I appreciate the presentation. Being on that board previously, it seemed like we were neutral for a while, but Rachel, you made a big difference to the assistance you brought to that board, the focus you brought to that board, collaboration needed throughout the townships, and just keeping the message out there consistently versus kind of hit or missly. So we appreciate the efforts of your entire team and that entire board and what they do, because I feel like we are seeing some progress and we are moving forward where this is something relevant for the county, where before it seemed like we had great ideas but didn't have any traction. So now we're getting some traction. So I really appreciate what you brought to this committee and the focus, so keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda this morning, we have a CDBG Chill Grant Application Public Hearing. And if this sounds familiar, it's because the first time we did this, we submitted the results with our resolution from our public hearing, and based on some differences of opinion at MISTA at the state level, they didn't like the wording of some of the resolution and how it was put together, so they asked us to kindly redo it again. So we are doing just that. So I will now open the public hearing for the CDBG Chill Grant application. If there is anybody that would like to speak in favor of the Chill Grant or in opposition to the Chill Grant, you may have your time at the microphone now. Going once? Going twice? Okay. We will now close the public hearing for the CDBG Chill Grant application. Thank you. Items for consideration. Commissioner Campbell.
Did we need to adopt updated language or anything that didn't require any additional action?
That's an agenda item coming up in the very near future.
I'm sorry, thank you.
Nope. Good question.
I would move for the approval of claims in the amount of $101,896.51.
Motion by Campbell, support by Smelker for approval of claims in the amount of $101,896.51. Discussion. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Carlton.
Aye.
Getty. Aye. Smelker.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Tunison.
Aye.
Doster.
Aye.
Jackson.
The motion is approved.
I would move for the adoption of resolution number 24-11,
resolution to apply for community development block grant funds for CDBG housing, improving local livability. Jill.
Support.
Motion by Campbell, support by Getty for adoption of Resolution 24-11, a resolution to apply for community development block grant funds for CDBG housing, improving local livability, or CHIP. Additional discussion. Marilyn, I don't know if you had anything you wanted to add, since we've kind of gone through this already, so.
No, but thank you very much.
Absolutely. Additional discussion from commissioners. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Getty,
Aye.
Smelker,
Aye.
Hatfield,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Tunison,
Aye.
Doster,
Aye.
Carlton,
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved.
I move for the adoption of resolution number 24-12, resolution to approve ballot proposal for renewal of millage funding for operations of older citizen services throughout Berry County Commission on Aging.
Is there support?
Support.
Motion by Campbell, support by Hatfield for adoption of Resolution 24-12, a resolution to approve ballot proposal for renewal of millage funding for operations of older citizen services throughout Berry County Commission on Aging, through Berry County Commission on Aging. Additional discussion.
While it was clearly stated during the presentation at the COW meeting last week, I think it's important to just emphasize the fact that this is providing funds for operations. It has absolutely nothing to do with the new proposed facility.
Absolutely. Additional discussion? Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Smelker,
Aye.
Hatfield,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Tunison, Doster, Carlton,
Aye.
Getty,
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved.
I move for the adoption of resolution number 24-14, resolution to approve acquisition of real property for county recreational purposes and uses.
Is there support?
Support.
Motion by Campbell, support by Getty for adoption of Resolution 24-14, a resolution to approve acquisition of real property for county recreational purposes and uses. Discussion. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Hatfield,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Tunison,
Aye.
Doster,
Aye.
Carlton,
Aye.
Getty, Smelker,
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved.
Move for the adoption of resolution number 24-13, resolution to delegate authority for maintenance of lake level of Podunk Lake.
Is there support?
Support.
Motion by Campbell, support by Carlton for adoption of Resolution 24-13, a resolution to delegate authority for maintenance of lake level of Podunk Lake. Discussion.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to table this. Rutland Township doesn't feel like they're being represented in this, and they'd like to have a sit-down with a drain commissioner in a public meeting, in a township meeting, to discuss it, just so that, you know, they got clarification on this.
Okay.
And they might want some input on somebody from the lake possibly being on the authority or something like that, as long as the drain commissioner's okay with it.
He's nodding yes, so I'm assuming you've talked to...
Yeah, Commissioner Tunison been with Julie yesterday, and I said, yeah, we'll tickle the death out to Rutland. They can be delegated authority. I checked with Doug Kelly yesterday. They still have to follow all the 307 rules, which means they have to come to the commissioners to do the special assessment district. The commissioners have to petition the courts to set the district. They would do the mailings, they would do all the contacts, they would go out and get the easement, whatever's necessary. They would hold the public hearing through the courts, and then they would bring it back to the commissioners to confirm the roll. But if they want to do that, that would be wonderful. That's just that much less mailing we got to do, so.
Yeah, I have not talked to Larry Watson yet, but I'm assuming that they just want some clarification to be sure that they're not signing up for something or getting involved in something or spending money for the residents out there. As we discussed, sometimes there's a little drain commissioner fear based on what happened in southern Boyer County, so we want to be sure that everything is good. So I think it'll be good for you to have some time with them before we go forward with this.
Yeah, and I'll email Tom Horak at Dam Safety to just say, hey, the county's working on this, don't give us a penalty for not moving faster, so, all right, thanks, guys.
That'd be great. Thank you, Jim.
Do we need a vote on the tabling, or?
So we have a motion to table. Is there support for that motion? Motion by Tunison, support by Smelker to table the adoption of Resolution 24-13, the resolution to delegate authority for maintenance of the lake level of Podunk Lake. Additional discussion?
Could we have a clarification on how long the tabling is for? I don't know, I think sometimes it's just meant for later in the meeting or whatever.
They're gonna go, Jim's gonna meet with the township board.
So it'll be tabled until
sometime.
Next month sometime?
If they're going to meet with the entire township board at an open meeting, that is the second Wednesday of the month of May. So that would be then potentially the third or the second cow of May, or the first one in June, so.
Michael, do you have any suggestion for language for?
Yeah, technically, Mark is correct that we should get into Robert's rules. Tabling is for the meeting, so if you know when you want, what you do is it would be a motion to postpone until a specific date. So if, what would we be talking, the first meeting in June? Is that what we're?
Okay, let's do that. That gives everybody plenty of time.
First Board of Committee, bring it back to the board, or would it go, I apologize, would you prefer it go to a committee of the whole to be then rediscussed with whatever input has come out of the discussion?
I think we ought to do that. I do.
So
personally.
postpone it till the first meeting, first committee of the whole in June?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So the revised motion is to postpone versus table the resolution 24-13 until the first committee of the whole for the month of June 2024. Is that acceptable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Campbell.
Aye.
Tunison.
Aye.
Doster.
Aye.
Colton.
Aye.
Getty. Aye. Smelker.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is postponed.
I move for the approval to increase the Deputy Register of Deeds indexing specialist from .475 FTE full-time equivalent to 1.0 FTE full-time equivalent, and eliminate the 1.0 FTE full-time equivalent Deputy Register of Deeds position in the Register of Deeds office.
Is there support?
Support.
Motion by Campbell, support by Tunison for approval to increase the Deputy Register of Deeds indexing specialist from .475 FTE to 1.00 FTE full-time equivalent, and eliminate the 1 FTE full-time equivalent Deputy Register of Deeds position in the Register of Deeds office. Just to give you a little context, the next group of items were items that came before the Personnel Committee last week. Because of the detail involved in some of those discussions, we thought, as opposed to putting them on consent agenda, even though they were agreed in consensus with that board, that we wanted to give an opportunity for input. I think Commissioner Campbell had a good idea, so we wanted to be sure that you guys all had an opportunity to give some input or have questions, if you had questions on these things that were a little more in-depth, that we wanted you to be able to have that opportunity. Is that correct, Commissioner Hatfield?
Correct.
Okay, wanted to be sure that I was stating that correctly. So he is the chair of that board and does an excellent job. So, and as you heard, they are talking about promoting one position and eliminating another. So it is a savings to the county, and that was agreed to unanimously in consensus by the Personnel Committee last week. So, questions or discussion? Okay.
once again, it's the technology that Barb Hurlis requested, implemented, and the data she put into that allowed this to happen. Once again, I think you guys need to, acknowledge her for this information, and then, once again, look at how other departments are going to do the same thing when they come in here making a request for what their needs. How is it going to help the taxpayers? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Tunison,
Aye.
Doster,
Aye.
Colton,
Aye.
Getty, Smelker,
Aye.
Hatfield,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved.
Move for the approval of the attached Geographic Information Services Analyst job description and reclassification to grade level 10 on the BCCEA pay scale.
Support.
Motion by Campbell, support by Getty for approval of the attached Geographic Information Services Analyst job description and reclassification to grade level 10 on the BCCE pay scale. Discussion. Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Doster,
Aye.
Colton,
Aye.
Getty, Smelker,
Aye.
Hatfield,
Aye.
Campbell,
Aye.
Tunison,
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved.
Move for the approval to allow the trial court administration the flexibility to deviate from current policies applicable to the quasi-judicial officer 2 position regarding entrance salary rate, moving expense reimbursement, and vacation leave to facilitate the recruitment and hiring of talent during this difficult labor market.
Support.
Motion by Campbell, support by Smelker for approval to allow the trial court administrator the flexibility to deviate from current policies applicable to quasi-judicial officer 2 position regarding entrance salary rate, moving expense reimbursement, and vacation leave to facilitate the recruitment and hiring of talent during this difficult labor market. We had a good discussion on this at the Personnel Committee. Basically, they have an open position they've been trying to fill for a while, and based on the labor market and the entrance salary, there just was, thus far, has not been any interest in filling that position. So they're just asking for a little flexibility to deviate from what the current practice, the current starting pay is on that, which we thought, again, that was approved in consensus by the Personnel Committee. So, additional comments from anyone on the Personnel Board?
And this is not unusual practice in the private sector where you're giving individuals credit for experience with previous employers that has increased their skill level and competency. So I think in today's world it's necessary and common to do.
Additional discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Campbell?
Is there a number on that? I mean, how far are we allowing them to go on their own as far as offering?
Up to $1 billion.
Get some pretty good people.
I hope so. It was between 81 and 95,000. I'm trying to remember the numbers.
It's up to a 4-step.
So, Commissioner Campbell, we have the Berry County Employees Association, and then the non-reps, which this falls into, I believe, have a grade system where we have grades 1 through, I believe it's 15, and then there are steps. So this would have a pay range to it. I don't know that pay range right off the top of my head, but the court would not be allowed at this point to go beyond that 4-year step in the pay grade. That makes sense. So traditionally, what we would do is we would hire somebody in at the starting rate, and then there's a 6-month step, a 1-year step, a 2-year step, 3-year step, and a 4-year step, at which point you're topped out. You're considered, if you may, a seasoned employee, and you're topped out in your pay grade. Of course, then annual cost of living adjustments that are bargained to the whole classification system you would get from year to year, but you'd no longer go up in the pay grade. So then the steps. So this allows, in this case, the court administration to credit somebody and recognize experience to start them somewhere above and up to the 4-year step in that pay grade.
Thank you.
So that's where the deviation comes in, and you're just basically able to maneuver a little bit better. as
Yeah,
far
based
as-
on experience.
Yeah.
And this is not a new additional position. This is replacing a retiree. There's been an internal promotion to fill the retiree's position, and now we're looking to, fill the position that person occupied.
I got it. Good.
Okay.
Good clarification.
Gary?
With tight labor markets, you gotta start realizing that these openings and trainings take up time and money. If you don't ask a department to restructure and put a plan out there to downsize, it never will happen. Barb Hurlis is the exception. Other departments aren't being asked to do it, so they're not showing you a plan. It's just, what is the plan to restructure your department because of this labor market that is going to continue to dwindle? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, could we ask Inez to come up here for a minute?
Sure.
Good morning. Morning. Can you give us a little clarification on this, Inez?
Sure. Back in November, we appeared before the board requesting a reclassification of our magistrate position. We combined the magistrate and referee position to one, a quasi-judicial officer. So we have two quasi-judicial officers who are supposed to cover each other. So in the absence of one, the other one fills in when we're dealing with vacation time. Their experience is, they have to have at least 5 years' experience. They're on call every day, evenings, weekends, holidays. They have to set interim bonds during the weekends. So if anybody gets arrested, someone has to be there to set the bonds, and that's what they do. So this isn't a new position, and if we eliminate a position, then you're asking someone to be 365 days on all the time without any time off. And that's just not a realistic expectation. You'll get employee burnout, and we'll be right back here hiring someone else.
Got it. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Additional discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Colton.
Aye.
Getty.
Aye.
Smelker.
Aye.
Hatfield.
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Tunison.
Aye.
Doster.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. I move for the discussion and approval of next steps in the process to select a search firm for the county administrative position. Proposals for county administrator search. Support. Okay. Motion by Campbell, support by Smelker, for discussion and approval of the next steps in the process to select a search firm for the county administrator position. Commissioner Hatfield, go ahead.
Thank you. We put out the RFP for search firm services. We received 6 responses to that. I would say 4 of those were reasonably well qualified. Probably 2 stood out. 2 were clearly in second place, and the other 2 were not qualified to provide the services that we needed. At this point, we want some direction as to what you would like the committee to do. The next step in the process, in most cases, and certainly what we would like to do, would be to invite 3 or 4 of these firms in for in-person interviews. We would like to know whether or not you would like for the committee to do those interviews and come back with one or two for your final consideration, or whether you would like to participate in all four of those interviews.
Speaking personally, I think it would be fine for the Personnel Committee to interview all four and come back with a recommendation on who to select. The candidates, I think it's very important that all members of the board be included in the interviews, but personally, I think that you've done a good job in ranking them, and I agree with your top two picks, and I feel confident that that committee could handle that.
Thank you. Commissioner Tennyson?
I would have no problem if you narrowed it down to two, and then we all sat in on that for the interview.
Commissioner Campbell?
I would also be in favor of that, as I originally thought the Personnel and Human Services Committee was just for that, for working for a replacement of our management.
Thank you. Commissioner Smelker?
I know this will be a shock to Mark, but I agree with him.
Okay. Commissioner Carlton, Commissioner Getty, any other input? Okay.
So just for clarification, I've heard one individual or perhaps two indicate that they'd like for us to bring back a recommendation. I've heard from...
I would like a recommendation of two, top two.
Okay.
And then we could the whole board would sit through the interview. Would that be okay, or not?
Well, that means we're asking them to come twice for interviews.
Well, then what is the best solution?
Can't we just sit through your interview?
Yeah, you are certainly welcome to participate in our interviews.
Okay, that'd be fine.
As is always.
Yeah, I would have no problem with that.
But I would suggest that in this case, we bring back one.
Okay.
Unless we can't agree on one, in which case we would
Bring two.
bring two.
Well, we all have the opportunity to sit in on it. So,
Mr. Chair, just a general comment on committee structure. I don't see the purpose of forming the Personnel Committee if the Personnel Committee can't bring forth a recommendation to the whole board. If the whole board wants to interview multiple candidates, then I don't see the purpose of the Personnel Committee. Just a general comment.
I concur. So,
To be clear, if the full board participates in the interviews at the Personnel Committee level, they would not be asking questions, participating actively in the interview, correct?
I think participate is maybe the not, attend, yes, participate, no.
Right.
Because then you're beyond a board quorum for something like that. Is that correct, Michael? No.
So, you could, so what we will do is we will post, and we did when we had committees previously. I need to confirm that this time, but we would post that committee meetings may include a quorum of the board. That does not mean, again, like our committee of the whole, that it's a final action. It's a committee recommendation, but that in case a quorum of the board were there is no violation of the Open Meetings Act. And in talking with our labor council, our corporate council, that was their advice when we had committees previously. And we ran into this where commissioners wanted to attend beyond just those on the committee. So you can, but again, to Commissioner Carlton's point, if you establish a committee, I think the assumption is that it's going to be a committee and not the full board. If the full board wants to be involved, then potentially you utilize the committee of the whole or a full board meeting. So the optics are more what become a little problematic, if you may, when you have a quorum of the board attending a committee meeting itself. Legally, we can address that through that notification and the posting that a quorum may be present. But then it does lead to the optics and the issue of, as you move something forward, if you have a quorum of board, does the whole board see that recommendation or not? All the discussion, so.
Okay, perfect.
So my request would be that you authorize the Personnel Committee to select 2 or 3 firms to interview and to come back with a recommendation to this group as to who to retain.
Support, Doster. Okay. We had a motion on the floor from Campbell.
Oh, did you?
and Smelker.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
So, this is, when I was president of the Maple Valley School Board, I was involved in 2 superintendent searches where this is going to be very similar to that. And I think in selecting the search firm, this will set precedent for then when we're finally interviewing candidates. And typically, and what might happen in this case, when you get to the final couple candidates, it will involve site visits to where they presently work, just to talk to different people of the community about how they feel they function there. So what we're doing now for the search firm, I think, may set the precedent for when we're actually selecting candidates. So if you want the committee of the whole to interview all candidates and even do site visits, or do you want the Personnel Committee to do its work and come to the board with single recommendations for both search firm and the actual candidate for administrator?
That is certainly not what I'm asking for. I think the process that we'll use for the final candidate will be different than what we're doing for the search firm.
There is criteria for the search firm in here, isn't there? And it specifically delegates that they would make the visits to those communities where those individuals were
Doesn't mean
from.
that we might not want to.
Okay.
There are certain.
But it allows them to do that.
It allows them to do that
Okay.
because we're actually asking the search firm to make the first rough set of cuts. If we have 50 people that apply for this, we're asking the search firm to narrow that down to a more workable number for both the committee and the board to consider.
Okay. I concur. Commissioner Campbell.
I would agree with Commissioner Carlton. My whole understanding of the Personnel and Human Services Committee was setting up for exactly the purpose that he said for the administrative position it's about. I would think that we would leave the decision of the group that they pick out as that was their job to do that, and then when they bring back several candidates, then as a board we would have to put it up for vote and see where it goes.
Yeah, I think definitely the entire board should be involved in getting familiar with who your candidates for administrator will be in the future, so.
And I don't want to confuse the issue because, we are making no recommendation on that part of the
Right,
process.
right.
What I was concerned with this morning was simply, where does the committee go in terms of selecting the search firm?
Well, I think you ought to bring us back a search firm and we'll go off your guys' recommendation.
Okay. Commissioner Campbell and Commissioner Smelker, would you guys be willing to withdraw the motion for discussion of approval of the next steps? I'd like to change that motion. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So the chair would entertain a motion, to bring back to the committee a recommendation of one search firm after the interviews. Would you make that motion, Commissioner Campbell?
Yes, I would.
And Commissioner Smelker?
Yes.
Okay. Any additional discussion on the motion? Okay. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Getty,
Aye.
Smelker,
Aye.
Hatfield,
Aye.
Campbell.
Aye.
Tunison. Doster.
Aye.
Colton.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. The motion is approved. Unfinished business, we have none. New business, we have none. County Administrator's Report.
I'm all set, thank you.
Okay, Chairperson's Report. Attended Hope Township, also attended Berry Township. I really tried hard to attend Prairieville Township. They had 2 assessment meetings scheduled starting at 6. And when I went back for the second time at 8:15, Prairieville was still in their second assessment meeting. So I didn't know if they were going to cancel, postpone, or move the meeting, so I did not attend that one. We have our governance board meeting tomorrow at 8 a.m. as well. So that's it for now. Vice Chairperson's Report.
Attended the Hastings City Council meeting last night, and their budget workshop prior to that meeting. Like what we are experiencing, a great deal of financial pressure, backlog of projects that have been delayed over the years that need to be attended to. I think that it's a universal situation throughout the county, and it's going to require some, I think, good communication between all of the governmental units to make sure that as we're dealing with these, that we take into account the combined impact on the taxpayers throughout the county. Also attended a Michigan Works board meeting yesterday morning in Grand Rapids. That group is extraordinarily busy. The number of employers that they are currently assisting is at a record high, as are the number of trainings that they're doing. So they're moving right along. Otherwise, attended the Solid Waste Oversight Committee, and they've already given a much better report than I can. So
there you go. Commissioner Campbell.
Thank you. I had a special call meeting at the Community Action, which was down in Marshall, for some time-sensitive issues that had to be approved before the end of the month. I also went to the Health Department meeting last Friday, which I was honored to be chair of that meeting. And according to Commissioner Tunison, I did okay, so I'm happy with that. And also, what else did I have? I guess that's all I have this morning.
That'll be it. Thank you. Commissioner Tennyson.
Tomorrow, we have a steering committee meeting at the COA at 10, and then tomorrow night, we got airport. John and I got airport tomorrow night.
Commissioner Smelker.
Attended Irving Township, that went well. Also attended the Central Dispatch. Everybody can probably notice that the Middleville Tower is up. The utility shed is there. The electrical is being run, but a slight hiccup. They ran into an old foundation. And the Hastings Tower is, the 3 foundations are in, and they will start stacking the tower, I believe, in the 1st of May. So things are moving forward on the tower.
Good news. Commissioner Gay.
I also feel that Commissioner Campbell did a nice job at the Health Department meeting. Apparently, I didn't speak up in time, but you ran a good meeting. A busy week coming ahead. COA, Governance Board, Parks and Rec on Thursday. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner
Colton.
They're kind of north heading south. If you're driving north on 66 by the ethanol plant, you will see the construction of the CO2 injection well taking place. Very visible from the road. I attended an autism support for the support of the families fundraiser at the Woodland Eagles this last weekend. And Nashville, I helped out. There was a dumpster days done by the Route 66 Business District, and it was very successful. We had to close up early because we loaded up the 3 large dumpsters very quickly. And community garden's getting its soil this week. So, and soon, the cows have been corralled up, the Nashville cows that have been painted. They've been corralled up in the old R&D's pizza location, and soon they will be let loose with a couple new additions.
Really? Commissioner Doster?
The Substance Abuse Division of SWIMBA that I serve on, that meets in Kalamazoo, we have representatives from, I think it's 8 counties that sit on that board, and there is a lot of talent on that board. And we kind of decided that we would take a portion of the meeting just to do a roundtable discussion of what's going on in each county and ask for suggestions and kind of a little training thing to see. Since we're all in Southwest Michigan, there's a lot of issues that we have in common, and we thought that would be an interesting way to try to take advantage of this, I think, rather extraordinary group of individuals, I think.
Awesome, good information, thank you.
One thing I forgot.
Yes.
There's a few of us commissioners attended the COA lasagna dinner. Very large turnout, very nice. So, thank you to them.
Very good. Limited public comment at this time. Any member of the public wishing to address the board may do so for up to 3 minutes.
Here we go again. Once again, when it comes to picking a county administrator, I would hope the board would want to all be part of that, questions and answers, and even allow the public to be part of that. It should be a big task. It's not just a simple employee. Restructure, when you talk restructure plan, that would have to include a plan that would leave no one person to be on call 365 days a year. So that's the reason you restructure, to see how that plan would be. On April 3rd, at the Maple Grove Township Board, I presented it's the revenues for the county property taxes. I also presented where I showed them the FOIA and the comment that was made for the Berry County Commissioners. That's where Mike Carlton said he was surprised that was even said, because he had no knowledge of it. Because of that, he said he wanted to bring the revenue thing. He would bring Michael Brown out there if he'd ask him. And a week later, with the internship, he said he'd bring Michael Brown out there. I just sit there and say, if you vote on a budget that you can't explain, why did you vote on it? On April 3rd, he also, Michael Carlton did, looked at me and said, Gary, you should run against me for county commissioner. Last Friday, I put my petition in, and I will be running in District 5 for county commissioner. It's important that you are a voice for your district. When he made the statement that I need a working relationship with you, the government, does not say that you're working for the people. To me, if you work for the people and they have a concern, you bring it back to the body of the government, which is you people. As I said, that little poem I made up was for that purpose. Your government, are you representing your districts? I question, if you don't have any creative ideas, what good does it do to come in here and sit every day? You've been here for 1 year and 4 months. Have you looked at the big plan of Berry County? Thank you.
Thank you. Additional public comment?
Hello, my name is Marcus Ringnalda. I am from Gaines Township in Kent County, and I am a consultant to the development team for the Mid-Villa project that's being planned in Middleville. In the near future, we hope to be in front of all of you to discuss a brownfield TIF plan. So just wanted to take a couple minutes here to talk a little bit about the project and the upcoming request. So the project itself that the brownfield TIF is subject to is just the housing component of what's happening on that development. Right now, my client Nate Heiber is the developer out of Hudsonville. He's putting in the infrastructure for some commercial outlots and self-storage. They are not subject to what we will be bringing in front of you. But the residential units themselves, the plans are for 144 units. 120 of them are 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and the rest are one-bedroom apartments. And the program we are requesting for approval here locally was put into statute last year at the state level to serve what we call workforce housing, missing middle, residents making between 80 and 120% of the area median income. So for a single person, the low end with what's been published recently is about $54,000. Families of 3 or 4 could be over $100,000. So the county will have an important role in this. We are going through local approvals. We'll be in front of the village tonight for a vote. And the request is just under $4.5 million to be reimbursed to the developer over a 14 to 15 year period. The rents for these units are proposed at $1,225 for the 1-beds and $1,475 for the 2-beds. So over 14 years, that reimbursement would be requested. It is only generated through the increase in taxes that the development generates. And again, this is just the housing. There's no impact to current taxes. So that's $310,000 to $375,000 annually. The county has an important role in this, although most of the tax capture comes from the DDA. But the ISD and state education tax administered by the county, that is part of the capture. But the county will have an annual opportunity to request all of that to be reimbursed by the state. So, not a lot of time left here, but certainly open to discussion over the next month or so. And that would be subject to approvals at the local level. But nice to see you up here, and hope to see you again in the near future. Thanks.
Thank you, Marcus. Additional public comment?
Larry Bass, Carlton Township, Sun River Sets. Listening to planning and zoning last week, really concerned about the timelines that have been established. The zoning and setting laws were passed back in December. We're at the end of April right now, approaching March. And we have a timeline, a drop dead date that we have to have our county solar and wind ordinance in place. I would like to find out if any work has started on that yet, where we're at, and I'd like to see a timeline when we hope to have that incorporated. Professionally, one thing I learned is whether you're doing product development, system development, or whatever, the work will expand to fill the time that's allotted. And I don't think we can afford to do that now. So, once again, like I said, we've had at least 4 months to tackle this right now. I understand what the issue is, because you do have a timeline on this, and it's very important to the county. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Additional public comment? Hearing none. Commissioner comments. Commissioner Doster?
I have nothing.
Commissioner Carlton? Commissioner Getty?
I guess I just a shout out to the Barry Roubaix. It seemed to run really smoothly, and thank Ace Hardware for their support of the Thornapple Trail Association and the parking, VIP parking that we did. So and Rick Moore. Get his name in the minutes.
There you go. Commissioner Smoker.
I'm good, thanks.
Commissioner Tennyson?
That was going to be a question I was going to ask, if we were going to do the solar and zoning ordinance separately from the overall county. That's one of my questions I had, that's all.
Commissioner Campbell?
Well, this isn't county business, but it is VFW business in the Delton area. I'm the commander out there. And we do something special every year. It's a Saturday night from 5 to 7. We're going to have cheeseburgers in paradise. And we're going to have Margaritaville till about 11 o'clock. And it's not guaranteed to get rid of your problem, but you might forget them for a few hours. So hope you'd come down and join us.
Very good. Commissioner Hatfield?
What can I say after that?
Good. And I think I updated a couple of weeks ago. I'm not sure if Blair was here. The wind and solar ordinance is currently in the hand of the attorney right now, going through all that, putting that together. When we turned it over to him a couple of weeks ago, I know there was some vacation that they had scheduled, so I didn't anticipate seeing that any sooner than mid-May. So maybe a little later. I know in talking to Mr. McManus, there may be a little bit of a different vision for the timeline for the solar ordinance, but I think it is very important that we get that moving through, so I don't know that the timing of the big picture of the changes with gravel and some of the other ordinances are going to fit with the timing of the solar. So we have to kind of navigate that as we go through, but we do have to allow time to not only get that ordinance back, for us to review it, to push it back out to Johnstown Township and the other townships who are doing their own zoning, to be sure we get feedback from all parts of the county, since it's not just a Johnstown issue, but that is the main issue right now, that we want to be sure we get all that covered, and then we'll be moving forward as expeditiously as possible. So I'm sure there'll be some debates, changes, some considerations, but there is a plan, and we are aware of timelines and are working forward to be sure we hit those timelines. So. And we'll update you as we go further through that too. So I'll look forward to you having the 5th Tuesday of this month off, so enjoy your Tuesday off. I will be at the Legislative Conference in Lansing, so filling my brain with all kinds of good legislative stuff, and I'll have a report back when you come back from there. I think Michael and I will be there. So anyways, thank you for attending this morning. Enjoy the day, be safe, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Thank you. We're adjourned.
The lake surface, the whole property. Come in. Once it gets a little warmer. Okay. Is there good fish in there?
People fish it.
I don't have a boat. I can go my pond.
The one that Sarah sent out last week was one that she was going to sell, but I have some of Sarah put it into the machine. Can't be fine. So,